Everybody, I know we've all been welcomed, but forever, whoever is joining on Zoom, I will welcome them now. So tonight is our finale for Systematic Avoda Initiative. So I want to say a huge mazel tov to everyone who finished the book. Woo! The Counting of the Eimer by Reisman Jacobson. We have thoroughly enjoyed, or I think most of us have been thoroughly enjoyed working on different aspects of our lives and our personalities. And I remember one day specifically when it was, I can't remember which Sfira it was, but it was like, be more assertive. And I'm like, oh, right, I got to work on that. Which one was that? Maybe it's Gorish or something. But anyway, I definitely remember certain days and how much it changed my attitude and my like shift of perspective for that day. And yeah, so I'm really grateful for this program. And I hope that everybody else joined and enjoyed. And I know that this particular SAI has been a little bit book heavy. I just keep finding amazing books and I just want to share them with everybody. So I hope you guys don't mind. We got another safer for the prize for today. And yeah, me too. And I'm actually going to forbring a little bit about it. So hopefully you'll have lots of good inspiration to read it. So it's called The Hasidic Approach to Joy by Rabbi Shlomo Majeski. This is actually a reprint. It is a gorgeous reprint. I'm so beyond impressed by Spotlight Designs. I mean, I'm always impressed by Spotlight Design, but now they really like outdid themselves.
Whoa!
Yeah, I know, right? And the typeset, the font, everything is just so beautiful. And yeah, so I'm really impressed and I want to share that with all of you guys. So I want to wish a huge mazel tov to everyone who earned it. Let me just open up to share with you the people who earned it. Yes, get your clapping hands ready. Ito, grab it. Yay! And we have Devora Samora, but she used to be a couple of it. So now you guys know who she is. Bracha Zerkin, Chaya Liebman, Adina Lapine, Gila Backer, Ariel Zuckerman, Simhara, Brachi Mishalovin, Esther Citrin, Fagi Shway, Ruta Cohen, and Esther Malka Cohen. Mazel tov, everybody, on all of your hard work and all of your avodah. Yes. Yes, all the promotions.
No, I didn't exist with all the promotions and all the videos and all this shit.
Yes, I did.
I was 14.
We'll do another mazel tov to our sponsor for tonight, Miriam Bracha Glicken. She sponsored in honor of her birthday and the recent birth of her daughter. So mazel tov, Miriam Bracha, and thank you so much for making tonight happen. So I kept thinking who would be a good person to forbring for our finale. And then on Shabbos and Shavuos, I kept talking to my husband and he's like, I think you have what to share. So I thought about it and I feel that considering my topic, I feel that this is a good shidduch. I've been wanting to discuss the summer and I've been wanting to discuss post Sfira for a while. And I really feel that, anyway, you shall see. So our topic for tonight is from Sfira to Elul, My Summer Matters. So I want to, okay, so I want to start by saying that the idea behind doing Sfira, like this SAI, Systematic Avodah Initiative for Sfira, came about originally because in Limich Chassidus many, many years ago, we learned a mimer called Sfar. And it was so inspirational to all the members who were there at the time that we started trying to think about, because Sfar is like it's a whole mimer about each of the how we're counting in each of the spheres and how each of the spheres connect to each of the spheres, and how they apply to our lives. And so we figured out that we need a program that's going to help us really make this practical and really make this relevant to our lives. So we've worked on our chesed, chesed, and all the permutations of all of them. And comes Shavuos, and we're feeling hopefully, very inspired and very accomplished. And I think many of us really focus and in a certain sense, prepare for Pesach, physically, but also in a certain sense, spiritually. Like the Pesach experience is very in-depth Haggadah. People want to stop and read that little thingy in the bottom of their, Kas Haggadah or Good Haggadah. We try to really focus on it. And then by Shavuos, on the one hand, we've worked step by step. And on the other hand, in a certain sense, it feels a little bit less steiging into the safer for many people. There's a lot more focus on the cheesecake. And for everyone that was at our milchik meal, we had a whole discussion about a $60-something.
Cheryl and your husband.
Some people had a discussion about a $60 cheesecake.
I came up with a thought today, and that was that I'm a lot quieter out of Shabbos meals than I am during Shabbos meals.
Okay.
Just need that to be pointed out. I'm quite
Sounds good. Baruch Hashem. There was no judgment.
It wasn't from you. It came from my other meal, I'm sure.
Okay, fine. So, being that Shavuos comes in a certain sense after a lot of daily preparation, but at the same time, it might feel not so spiritual for some people. So I've started to notice over the years that as Shavuos approaches, there's a bit of a feeling of, hey, summer's coming. What's going on? What am I doing? For whether you work at a job, like at a school job, and therefore your parnasa might change or shift, your schedule might change or shift, your attitude or plans might change or shift. Some people want to travel, some people want to do different types of activities. And as Shavuos approaches, that topic starts to the blink on people's cell phones when they get a message, so it's like summer's coming, right? So I realized, and I was thinking about it, and I said, it's very interesting how we go from SAI to SAI, right? Systematic Avodah Initiative. It's this program that we do. Okay. So we go from the Sfira SAI to the Elul SAI. And usually I was kind of comparing and contrasting between the two. And usually there's a bit of a correlation, or not a correlation, I think a outcome from summer that leads people to think, wait, Elul's coming. Oh my gosh, life's about to get real. Here comes Tshuva, Melech Basadeh, the king in the field. Here comes all the from Slichas until Simchas Torah and Shabbos Bereshis. It's go, 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 go. So usually that time of Elul is a real, it reels you back in. So here we come from Shavuos, where we started thinking about the summer, and then we enter our next SAI is Elul, when we start really processing, Tishrei is coming, right, the coming year, a fresh new year. So I was thinking about this a lot, and I realized that this concept of summer, our summer vacation or our summer time period, has an interesting connotation. And I think for everybody, there's different specifics. So summer means a certain feel, but the connotation of summer in specific for each person might be a little different. So I want to just take a pause. I want everyone to think about it. If you want to write it down, if you want to just like close your eyes, whatever you want. But think about the concept of, what does summer represent to you? What does that feel like? What does that smell like? What is it like? What does it make you feel? What does summer do for you? So I'll give you the time to process that, because if you have that clear in your mind, then the rest of the farbrengen is going to be a lot more geschmack. So what does summer represent for you? What does summer feel like for you? So for me, I'll share. Many of you know, and we might joke about it together, that I am slightly allergic to winter and cold. I hermit when I'm freezing cold and I don't want to come out of my apartment. The only place I come to is the Mechzedus, basically. And for me, the summer and the warm weather represents good, fun times. It represents an experience in my life where I'm able to really be myself, where I'm able to just walk out of the house without gloves and mittens and a scarf and a hat and dressing all 5 kinderlach with whatever it is. And then by the time you finish with the 5th, somebody has to go potty, so you have to take it all off. And right. So that's what winter represents for me. Winter represents for me the hustle. It's like life skill series and SAI and the married lady Shabbaton, and it's like boom, 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 boom. It's like one thing after the other the whole winter straight. And now this year we had the gala and the fundraiser, and it was just so much stuff that happens in the winter. But for me, the summer, it represents my family. It represents my family time with my kids. Now that my older boys are older, so they all have Sunday school for full day. So we don't really get to go on Sunday fun days when they're in school. We get to go on Sunday fun days after school, which is very late. It's a different farbrengen for a different time. So anyway, so being that my kids get to, now during summer, they don't have as much school, and the camp schedule is different and much more flexible. So for me, summer represents family, not just my immediate family, but also usually in the summer is when I go to visit my mom and my sister in Florida, and I get to spend quality time with them. So it represents family there as well. And sometimes, Baruch Hashem, this year, as Hashem is happening, my in-laws also get to come and visit. So for me, summer represents warm weather and freedom to be myself, not constrained under a heavy coat and freezing my legs off all the time, and family time. And when I sat down to prepare this farbrengen by Hashgacha Pratis, it happened that the only time that worked out with my schedule today for me to do this was when my kids were at the park with my husband. So they were already out of school and they were already playing in the park. And finally, I was napping, and I was able to just sit by my laptop and like and like let it all flow, because I had it. It just needed to be, So I'm looking out my window and I see, here I am typing all about summer, and summer means to me, and what does it represent, and da 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 da. And I look out the window and I'm like, the sun is out. It is absolutely gorgeous out. The weather is stunning. It's breezy and warm and everything is perfect. And I'm talking about my family, but meanwhile, my kids are over there and I am over here. And it was such a shock how come this is what I daven for and this is what it represents, but right now I didn't make that reality a priority. I didn't, it was so many things today. It went from the logistics of tonight's dinner and ordering that to preparing for the upcoming Shabbaton. We spent a lot of time working on that. I'm teaching, Baruch Hashem, I just finished one kala and I'm teaching another kala, so I'm preparing the class for her. Every person has a different, how fun. Every person has a different personality and different things that need to be prepared for them. So yeah, so I do give individualized attention to my cause. So okay, Bela, you can hold it.
Only if you want. No pressure.
No, and now it's on recording that Bela is holding my baby. It's for prosperity. Here you go. Oh, 1 second. You may want to take this unless you want to wear. If you want to wear the rest of it. Oh, the wire. There we go. There we go.
Oh, you're smiling.
Here, Bela. There you go.
Is he cold?
Hey, Taddy. Hi. There you go. Okay, so anyway, so I was preparing the specific things for this particular kala that she needed. I spoke to a newlywed about a shalom bayis thing or a sticky situation. I also got off the phone with a married alum who's been married for many years with another situation she was going through. Then I also prepared the logistics for Shabbat Brachos on Tuesday, B'ezras Hashem. Then I had a chavrusa with somebody who's growing in her Yiddishkeit. Then I worked as a shadchan for a shidduch. Then I checked in on a postpartum mommy who has needed a bit of support. Then this is today. I'm explaining how by the time I came to write this down, my kids were at the park as opposed to when I usually do this, which is earlier in the day. So then my Chana is old enough now that she needs social and interaction. So I took her to mommy and me. Then a million WhatsApp messages that I answered, sent, or still need to answer, but I'm constantly pondering over happened. And only then did I get to sit by my laptop with a quiet moment when Yosef was sleeping and the rest of my kids were out and the house was just calm, so I could actually type this out. So
All happened today.
a lot of happening. Yes, this is all today. Baruch Hashem. If you're wondering how I keep busy, I keep busy. But now that I'm showing off about busyness, because busy is not a good thing. I just accomplished a lot that Hashem wants me to accomplish. Baruch Hashem. I'm just working out of the busy lifestyle. Anyway, so here I am in the most gorgeous day, the day that I daven for all winter long. And it's there, but I'm not there. I didn't make it there to this gorgeous day to meet, spend quality time with my kids in the warm weather and enjoy making a derba tachtonim with my family. So as I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is really awkward. I'm typing a whole farbrengs in about how we should do things differently, but I totally just admitted that I totally blew it today. And I called my husband. I'm like, I'm not preparing this farbrengs anymore. I'm just gonna wing it, and I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna come to the park and play with you guys. So he's like, we're leaving in 15 minutes. You sure you want to come? So afterwards, I felt really terrible, and my Yetzer Hara took like at me, and he said to me, he said, how is this thought process serving you? Like, I wasted my time. I should have done something different. I coulda, shoulda, woulda. And he said, how is this serving you? So I said, you know what? That's right. I've been working the last 7, and now it's 8 weeks, right? Right? We've done all these different steps to work on improving our mindset and our emotional equilibrium and how we function as a human being, as a yid connected to Hashem. So I said to him, I said, okay, right now I feel pretty yucky. My Yitzhar has played a real yucky game on me. How would I think about this and do this differently next time? If this were to happen again, how would I think about this differently? And as I was discussing it with him, I realized that many of the thought processes that I was using actually come from this book. I've been reading this book for the last little bit. If you want, there's a diaper that I think might be needed.
Oh yeah?
I'm a child whisperer. No, not over there. Anyway, so I went through the thought processes here and I said, one second, why am I so down on myself that I'm typing up this farbrengen and at the same time missing out this opportunity to spend quality time with my family? Have I taken Hashem out of the picture? And here I am, a whole farbrengen about essentially, what do you call it? Plot.
Plot twist.
Plot. No, not plot twist. When
Um,
somebody gives away the end of the book in the beginning.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. A huge aspect of this topic for tonight is including Hashem in your summer plans. So here I am typing all the way about including Hashem in your summer plans, and my Yetzer Hara managed to convince me to remove Hashem from this entire moment. Hashem needed me to do a specific. Hi. Yeah. Hashem needs me to do this specific task right now. If Hashem would have wanted me to do this earlier, then I wouldn't X, Y, Z, the million list that I think things that I did earlier wouldn't have happened. Everything wouldn't have combined itself to be exactly where it is right now. Hashem decided that all the puzzle pieces should click, 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 click to the point where it's either I go to the park with my family or I prepare for this farbrengen. And the fact is that the moment I added Hashem back into my life, I said, wait a minute. Hi, Yetzer Hara. I see you. I hear you. Go fly a kite.
In the park.
No, go stay away from my kids.
In a different part.
In a different location. So I reminded myself that in the same way as in this moment, my Yetzer Hara took me for a loop and it dragged me down into a not happy moment. All I had to do is bring Hashem back into the picture and re-include him back into the whole plan of existence and why I am where I am. And then I was able to have clarity and appreciate his involvement, and not just involvement, but literally to the minuscule second, that every single second of my day was exactly what it was meant to be, to lead to the moment where I'm sitting here and now I have a beautiful appreciation about what I'm going to be doing tomorrow at 4 p.m. Another spoiler alert. Be'ezus Hashem, I'll be at the park playing with my kids. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So I was right? Yeah. Okay. So the same tool that I used to help improve my mood earlier is the same tool I'm going to help introduce into everybody's summer plans. For many of us, the idea of summer brings up a lot of gashmias excitement, whether it's traveling, whether it's the warm weather, whether it's, okay, for some people, warm weather is not good, but whether it's, I know, I saw the faces, whether it is the time spent together because you don't have the same amount of work as usual, or visiting and traveling and visiting family, or whatever it is that for most people, the concept of summer brings up for them. I want to, and it's just not just me, it's actually the Rebbe. the Rebbe wants to remind all of us that our summer plans have plans begashmias. And it's also a time, according to the Rebbe's letter that he wrote to students graduating before the end of the school year. It's a time when the days are longer, the span of the daytime and the daylight hours are longer. And it's a time when we feel Hashem's warmth and closeness. And being that our schedule changes, it's a time to really invest in our connection to Hashem. It's like somebody that gives you a hug, and then you're like, oh, wait, but there's a pretty thing over there. Like Hashem is giving us a hug. It's called the summer. It's nice and cozy and warm and exciting. And let's remember that he's the one giving us this hug. Let's not just look outward. Let's hug him back. So I want to take a minute, and I'll do this myself. And that's one of the reasons why I told you to make a mental list in your head. I want to take a minute to process all the things that I'm excited for the summer, all the things that I'm excited for from the time between now and the kickoff for our next SAI in Elul, Be'ezus Hashem. And I am thrilled for quality time with my kids. It's not set in stone, but I'm hoping to take a few weeks and not send them to camp and just focus on them and spend quality time with them. And my husband and I had like a 3-hour meeting on discussing each of our kids and what we would like to see them grow in over the summer. And we've made a plan for each of them to spend quality time with them.
I'm like taking that half hour a day. Like,
Yeah.
Being a wife, being a mother, working on the this, working on our Shabbat. I was telling you, like really, like fully health and
Amen. I'll take all the brachas. Thank you so much. So I get to appreciate the summer with my family. I get to appreciate that we booked tickets to Florida. I get to appreciate that for the first time in 8 years, my father-in-law is Be'ezus Hashem coming. And I get to spend quality time with him, and he's one of my favorite people ever. And I'm just l'chaim. And I get to enjoy all the beauty of summer that I love. And I'm making it a conscious effort to be grateful to Hashem for every single one of those things. If it wasn't for Hashem, I wouldn't be able to spend quality time with my kids. I wouldn't have my kids, chas v'shalom. But if it wasn't for Hashem, I wouldn't have the ability to really bond and make the time and spend quality time with them, not just with them here, but also traveling with them, seeing my family, seeing my in-laws, seeing the growth that Hashem has opened up for me over the summer. And not only that, but as a thank you to him, I'm going to make it a priority to find what I'm going to give back to him as a thank you, how I'm going to add him into my summer plans, that I use this extra time, so to speak, the extra daylight hours, the extra freedom that I'm given to turn it into Hashem-focused time. Yes.
So, can you please give us some examples?
Yes.
For those who are, let's say, traveling and doing some extracurricular stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I was actually one of the next topics is real practical examples. So being that we want to add Hashem more into our life, and being that sometimes we get to Elul and we say, how far have I come? Now I need to do tshuva. Whether we say it out loud or we feel like, that feeling. Imagine how incredible it's going to be when you come to Elul and you think for yourself and you feel inside of you a level of tshuva from love. Not tshuva, I made mistakes and I forgot about Hashem when I was in Yehapitz, traveling or doing my freedom things, but tshuva of, I've spent this entire summer bonding with him. How nice it's going to be to then join him back into his castle on Tishrei. Like, he's been a part of every moment of my summer, all my travels, all my exciting plans, all my extracurricular things. And now I get to connect to him. Good. Now I get to connect to him in his home, in his terms. So the same way we make Gashmias plans for our summer, let's make Ruchnias plans for growth, a relationship with Hashem, and a deep connection. So here are some ideas that I thought of that you could do or learn or think about throughout your summertime that you can include Hashem into your plans. You could take this with you. It's thin. It's beautiful. It's called the Chassidic Approach to Joy. It was the SAI prize for today. Ryan Majeski. It's a reprint. It's a reprint, but it is beautiful, and we're giving it out to everyone who earned it for the prize. It is very, very practical. It's very it's very living Hasidus style in the sense that you can really take the concepts and bring them to life into your day-to-day life. I also suggest, see, we've been so good. I also suggest taking this beautiful mimer. It is one of the, honestly, most avoidadike, clear mimarim I've ever learned. I literally learned it in probably maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. And then it was very short and very clear. There's not so much haskala in it, very, very little haskala. It's very to the point. It's all about, it's called the English translation is called From Trial to Triumph. And so it gives you the tools to see stress, worry, anxiety, anything that you're kind of having a hard time processing in your life. It gives you the tools and the Chassidic Hashem glasses to look at it through, and it gives you step-by-step on how to overcome it and come out in a much stronger and happier place. So we at Living Chassidus have provided you with 2 incredible tools to use over the summer. You can make a chavrusa, you can learn them on your own. This one I like to read a little bit when I go to sleep and a little bit in the morning before davening. This one, it's very short and very good and very clear. And I don't always say that about my mom. So this one I really, really enjoy it. I taught it. It's a long story. But anyway, so we've given you that. Through learning these things, another option that you could do in order to infuse your summer with an awareness of Hashem is to connect with someone that you can really farbrengs, and you can be comfortable sharing about your experiences or things that you're going through in life that can give you that, Hashem perspective on life. I would say if there's something that you've been wanting to take on, maybe now is a good time to take it on and think about doing it as a reminder that Hashem is the one giving you this beautiful summer. Because, okay, let me rewind. Today, there was actually a discussion at the Mommy and Me. Somebody brought up a question. Not somebody at the Mommy and Me, but it was trickled into the Mommy and Me. What is more important? And again, I don't want to get into it. I'm just going to give you the concept and then we're going to come out of it because it can get very heated. But what is more important? Learning chitas or keeping tznius? whatever. There was a lot of back and forth. I think at the conclusion, Sneas is an actual halacha. Chitas is, I mean, it is limud Torah, which is a mitzvah, but there's asay and lois asay, whatever. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. But the point is, one of the discussions that came about through this discussion was sometimes people learn chitas and they mumble something away, but they didn't really permeate them. And one of the most important things when we're learning or doing mitzvahs or just living life as a Jew is not what am I doing, but who am I doing this for? Because sometimes we could forget that the nice geschmacka thing we're doing that we enjoy eating cheesecake on Shavuos, we enjoy eating cheesecake all year round. There's people that enjoy davening, there's people that enjoy saying Tehillim, there's people that enjoy learning Torah, all these beautiful things we enjoy for ourselves. And so sometimes while we do them, we might forget who it's all about. So having something that helps remind you, who is this all about? This is about Hashem. I want to connect to Hashem. So you might end up doing the exact same Gashmias summer plans with a whole different Ruchnias feel. And my bracha to every single one of you is that Hashem gave you this time and Hashem gave you this opportunity. And I bench you to hug him back. Keep him at the forefront of your mind throughout the summer. And Hashem should bench you that all your Gashmias plans should be beautiful and enjoyable and so exciting. And the Ruchnias plans that go along with your Gashmias plans should be even more successful than you ever dreamed and imagined. And you should come to our next SAI in Elul at the kickoff and say, Michal, or say it to yourself, I am coming into this with a loving relationship and I'm doing tshuva me'ava, from love, as opposed to tshuva because, oops, my summer went a little haywire and now I need to reel it in. So I bench you to come into Elul b'simcha with a full heart filled with love and bonding and a real emotional feel for Hashem. L'chaim. Yes, and that was that. Any questions, comments?
I love how it says practical. I feel like I'm and I have something I could do. I don't have to contemplate, like, now what did I take from that?
Yeah.
Hashem.
And also for people like me who view the summer as a stressful time of
I was gonna say, by the way, you were like, it's still alive.
Okay.
You need to make plans. You need to do something.
Yes. Yes.
My that was gonna be my string of consistency.
Yes.
Throughout all this change, what am I focusing on for myself?
Okay. So let me just put this all into the recording because they might not be able to hear you guys. So there was a few concepts brought in just now about, for me, summer is exciting and thrilling, but for other people who summer is unsettling and makes them nervous because of all the changes and possibilities and having to reschedule all their lives, it's helpful. It's helpful to make your Ruchnias plan something that's consistent and you can feel safe and, what was the word you used? Grounded. There we go. You can feel safe and grounded with your Ruchnias plans. It's actually one of the reasons why at Lemich Chassidus we tend to do courses over the summer to give that next, something that's steady and grounded and learning and brings Hashem back into the picture. As soon as that information's out, I'll let you know. But for the time being, it seems that we are going to Be'ezus Hashem in the month of Av, we're going to do a course on Shalom Bayis and Taras HaMishpacha as a hachana. What? For anyone who's out of town, we'll Be'ez Hashem have a Zoom option. Yes.
Wherever we're gonna be.
Yes, exactly, for everyone that's out of town. So yeah, so that's the plan. And the way that that's going to happen is that it's going to be a segula and a hachana, preparation for every single person for their upcoming Shalom Bayis and Taras Mishpacha, and bringing Hashem into that picture is the greatest segula into reaching that end goal now. Yeah. Yes.
Totally not related to the topic. But I
Okay.
really need clarity on this.
Yes.
What are we supposed to go into Gimel Tammuz with? Like, or come out of Gimel Tammuz
That's
with?
like a whole farbrengen.
Got the recording.
Maybe
Okay, so how about this? Let's pause for a minute. Let's pause for a minute. We are, I think it's part of the schedule for the upcoming Shabbaton. It hasn't been set and sealed, but it has been a thought to bring this as one of the farbrengens for the upcoming Shabbaton. And I also hope to have a proper speaker before Gimel Tammuz to bring up this topic.
But I want to hear all sides.
So I'm like, let's just put it this way. I am not prepared at this point to handle such a beautiful, important, and crucial question. So it's very heavy and beautiful and amazing.
There's like five different articles, like response. This side of the who knows what, this side of the everyone has like
And this
I
is
just want clarity. That is
and this is why I don't go on COL.
We live.
I just don't go COL. But anyway, how about we'll put a pause on that. Let's see if there's any other questions along this topic, and then we can cut the recording and have a different farbrengen.
Lovely.
Any other questions? Yes. Yeah, comment.
I feel like, especially for those who struggle with change and having like the inconsistency kind of like kicking in, I feel like mentally preparing yourself for the summer will help you navigate the summertime.
Yes, I totally agree. So basically mentally preparing yourself for the summer.
No, I'm saying like,
It's
you
like
know what,
regulating
like,
a
June,
mental
whatever, is
No.
gonna kick in. Once you're a teacher, right? Okay, the school year is over. I know I'm gonna have a little bit of inconsistency. It's a little worrisome, but how am I let me break it down, and how am I going to make this the most meaningful summer? And so
Oh my gosh. Yes.
yeah. So like you write like lists. You're like, okay, so what do I want to work on, like rough dance?
Yes.
Like what kind of experiences do I want to have? Literally write all of this stuff down, and then schedule it in and do it.
Yes. Make your priorities, make a list of priorities and schedule them in and make them a priority. Do the priority. I will also say this mimer speaks a lot about nisyonos and the way that okay, so it's originally a mimer from the Frierdiker Rebbe that was sent after the Frierdiker Rebbe had left Russia, and he was in Poland about to run away from World War II. So the Frierdiker Rebbe sent in a mimer back into Russia for all of the Russian Chassidim, and it was wait. This is the one before this. So hold horses, sweat. So the Frierdiker Rebbe gives them chizuk on how to handle challenges, and let's just be honest, their challenges were intense, okay? And then in honor of Yud Beis Tammuz, the Rebbe, after he was in America and was Rebbe, the Rebbe took that mimer and said another mimer based off of it. So something that's very interesting is the translation of nisyonos, because there's two. Okay, I'll give you a very short synopsis, and this is how I'm going to answer Esti's whole thing. There are two types of challenges we have in life. One type is avodas habirurim, to elevate things, right? So we come to a nice, delicious cheesecake. We can freshen our face, or we can make a bracha and then freshen our face. I'm kidding. We can make a bracha and elevate the cheesecake. So that's a birur. It's a challenge because not always are we going to use all the things for all the right reasons, right? So YouTube could be a wonderful place to listen to Rambam from Rabbi Shais Taub or any other shir from Living Chassidus. Or YouTube could be a horrible place where you waste hours in horrible things. Chas v'shalom lo aleinu. Right? So it's yes, cat videos. So avodas habirurim, the challenge of elevating things is a challenge. Now there's another type of challenge which is a nisayon. A nisayon is a test. And the test is something that in a certain sense it's a worry, it's a stress that we have essentially no control over. What's happening in your summer, in a certain sense, has already been predetermined. Hashem it's going to happen. Like we can't fight graduation day because like, I want to keep going to school because it's safe for me. Like you can't show up Monday after graduation and expect that the rest of the school is going to continue with you. Like they're not. And you can't show up at your job if your job has stopped. You know what I mean? So like fighting. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so this concept of a nisayon, of a test, of a challenge of that type is really a mindset shift. It's going through all the could'ves, should'ves, and would'ves and saying, Hashem, this is a test. And what's the test on? The test is on whether I'm going to stress out about this, whether I'm going to fall from the test. The moment you remember that it's just a test and Hashem is behind it all, the test disappears. It's like the moment that you realize, what's a practical example that I recently had? Think of something that you've been stressed out and you're like, oh my gosh, it's going to happen. Or like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if, and then either it happens or it doesn't happen. But like, why did you waste all the hours beforehand worrying and stressing about it? Like all those things that you like stay up late at night, or this morning, my husband's alarm, he got a new phone. So now his alarm, the settings, it's a new phone. So it blasted a Maida'ani song. Like it was meant to be a little whisper, and I guess the volume got like whatever. So it's like blasting at 5 a.m. or 5 something in the morning. And I was like, so we're trying to wake him up. Like, turns out he was awake. Trying to turn the thing off. And I'm like, But anyway, it was blasting really loud. And then afterwards, I had such a hard time falling asleep because once I'm awake, I'm like, oh, I need to do this. And the hakel's happening tonight. And we need to order the food. And then, and like all my to-do list just like runs through. Is that going to help me? Is that serving me at all? At 5 a.m, I'm not getting up to do work. Like it's not going to happen. So I realized, I'm like, 1 second, Hashem, I get it. It's you. It's you. You've got it all covered. I don't need to stress about it. I'm going to take it off my shoulders and pass it on to you, and I'll take care of it later. Like, okay, good. And once that happens, once you have that realization that the stress and the worry and the anxiety and it's just a test, the test disappears. You give it back to Hashem. So anyway, that's a very short, super practical mimer. So good tips for preparing for worrisome changes in your life over the summer is having in mind that Hashem is there, and Hashem is the one who made your plans, and Hashem is going to help hold your hand throughout every step of the plan, as long as you know that he's hugging you and you hug him back. What? Yeah, exactly. Look at yes.
But it's also hard to plan. Like people who don't work this summer, you want to do something, you also have the plan with the people, the right thing, the money and everything.
Yeah,
The big
it's true.
stress.
It is. It's
And
true.
then, like you don't want to be bored.
But to remove the stress, you bring Hashem back in. What does Hashem want you to
What
do?
if it like work? What if it doesn't work out?
Oh, so the what ifs goes back to does it exist? Does the what if exist?
What? Yeah.
It does not. It does not. I'll tell you. I come from a family where we're very safety oriented. And meaning like, oh, be careful, don't get hurt. And
It's very
the
interesting, I would call it like, we come, no, not you, but a family from an anxious, worried.
so listen to this. I have my oldest is literally the safest kid I've ever met. He's just very,
Your personal family.
yes, my
I
personal,
thought you meant
my,
parents.
oh, they are.
Covering,
Uh-huh.
protecting.
Yeah, that. So I've been working on myself. Let's just put it that way.
I use the word anxious, also my grandmother's like that, so I'm not like.
So yeah. Mhm.
I think
So
I
anyway,
also-
so my oldest is literally the safest out of all of them, out of every
Got
single
the
one of my
most-
kids. Like, not even because of me. Like, he's a Gvursh B'Gvura kid. Like, he's literally born Gvursh B'Gvura, and his name is Gvursh B'Gvura, Levi and Yitzchak. He's literally like Mesuder and very conscious and whatever. And yet he's the one that had an accident, completely fell off of something and broke his elbow really badly. Surgery, several hour surgery, insane. Three ambulances later. Like, it was a whole ordeal. And it was so ironic in a certain sense, because I didn't watch it. It was too traumatic. My husband watched the camera video of what happened, and it literally was just a misstep.
How do you have a camera?
Because it was
He's
in
running the
school, so the backyard has cameras, and he fell off, and it was just a little misstep, and that's all it was, and he landed whatever. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it, but I literally stress about things sometimes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's going to school, is everything gonna be okay, what if something happens?
Oh, good, I have something to talk to.
So listen to this. What's the point? The moment something did happen, I had to deal with it, and I right away took my phone, took my charger, took his insurance card, and I got into the ambulance, and we went. And what did it help for me to stress about it before? I didn't even know about it at the time. Like, he was at recess. I was not thinking about his safety whatsoever. So it's not like me stressing makes them any safer. You know what I mean? It's not like you stressing about the possibility of the, because it's terrible. It wastes your time. But anyway, you stressing about the what ifs of your entire summer plans and all of the like questionable things doesn't solve anything. If something not good happens, you're going to be at that moment where you're going to deal with it. And if something great happens, why damper it by being like, oh my gosh, what if something not good could happen? Like, just enjoy the sun, enjoy your trip, enjoy your freedom, enjoy the fact that you're able to welcome Hashem into so many new areas in your life. Does that make sense? Yeah. So,
I wanted to come down here.
yeah. So it's a process. It's a process. Anyway, yes.
A letter.
Yes, Sophie, don't walk away. See you guys in a minute.